what if the emptiness you feel isn't because something's wrong with you, but because something's profoundly right? Picture this: Sunday evening. You've achieved everything society told you would make you happy. The career, the relationship, the home, the respect. You did everything right. Yet here you are, staring at the ceiling, feeling hollow. Not sad, exactly. Just empty. And the worst part, you can't explain it to anyone because, on paper, your life is perfect. This is the paradox that haunted Carl Jung's most successful patients. The people who came to him weren't failures. They were the accomplished ones, the admired ones, the people everyone else envied. And they were quietly dying inside. There's a name for this invisible crisis. Jung called it Sunday neurosis. Not the clinical kind you'd find in a textbook, but something far more profound. It's what happens when the noise of the week, the meetings, the obligations, the performance finally stops. And in that silence, something deeper emerges. A question you've been outrunning, a feeling you've been burying, a voice that won't be quieted anymore, your soul protesting. Because here's what nobody tells you about success: it can become a prison. Beautiful on the outside, suffocating on the inside. You built a life that everyone admires, except for the one person who has to live it. You. This emptiness, you feel, it's not ingratitude. It's not weakness. It's not even depression in the conventional sense. It's your psyche's last-ditch effort to save you. It's the part of you that refuses to die quietly, the part that knows you weren't born to play a role, that understands you're living someone else's dream while your own soul starves. And that's exactly what we're going to explore here. Not another productivity hack, not a quick fix, but something far more valuable. A map back to yourself. A way to understand why even perfect lives can feel empty. And more importantly, what to do when you realize you've been living for everyone, except the person staring back at you in the mirror. This journey won't be comfortable. Real transformation never is. But if you're here, if this is resonating in your chest right now, then you already know something needs to change. You've felt it. That sense that you're living someone else's life. That nagging feeling that you've betrayed something essential in yourself, something you can't quite name. Before we go deeper, if this already feels like someone's reading your diary, hit that like button and subscribe. This content reaches the souls who need it when you support it. Now let's continue into the heart of what you've been sacrificing without even knowing it. To understand your emptiness, you need to understand the invisible trade you made years ago. A trade so gradual, so socially encouraged, that you didn't even notice it happening. It starts in childhood. You learn quickly which version of you gets love, which behaviors earn smiles, which ones bring frowns. So you adapt. You become what others need. The good student, the responsible child, the one who doesn't cause problems. And it works. You get praised, rewarded, accepted. This is what depth psychology calls the persona. Not a mask you consciously put on, but a survival mechanism you built to navigate the world. It's the edited version of yourself, the socially acceptable you. And here's the thing: you need a persona. Without it, you couldn't function in society. But something dangerous happens when you identify too deeply with this mask. When you've been performing for so long that you forget you're performing. When the persona becomes so polished, so successful, that you lose track of who's actually underneath it. You didn't lose yourself all at once. You traded yourself away piece by piece for approval, for security, for belonging. Each trade seemed small at the time. Suppress this feeling. Hide that desire. Mold yourself this way. And over years, decades, even you became so good at being what others needed that you forgot what you needed. Now imagine your authentic self, what Jung called the self with a capital S, not the small self of ego, but the deep organizing center of your psyche. Imagine it as a river, wild and flowing and alive. The persona is the dam, and you've been living behind that dam for so long that you've forgotten rivers even exist. The emptiness you feel, it's the pressure of that river. It's every authentic impulse you've suppressed, every real feeling you've edited, every true desire you've deemed unacceptable. The self cannot be killed. It can only be imprisoned. And it's been waiting for you. This is why successful people often suffer more intensely. Achievement removes the excuse. You can't tell yourself anymore, "I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I find the relationship, when I reach the goal." You've reached the goals. You're still empty. And that's terrifying because now you have to face the real question. What if I climbed the mountain and it was the wrong mountain? But here's what they never told you. Your emptiness is not a flaw. It's intelligence. It's your soul refusing to settle for a beautiful lie. The fact that you feel this disconnect means you're still alive inside, still real, still capable of truth. There's another piece to this architecture of emptiness. The shadow, not evil, but exiled. To succeed to build this perfect life, you had to reject parts of yourself. Maybe your wildness, your vulnerability, your anger, your sensuality, your need to create. Whatever didn't fit the image of who you were supposed to be got pushed down into the basement of your psyche. But those parts don't disappear. They create the void. The emptiness is exactly the shape of everything you abandoned. Every spontaneous impulse traded for control. Every authentic emotion swapped for composure. Every weird, beautiful, messy part of you sacrificed on the altar of acceptability. Think about the executive who sits in their car crying before going home, unable to explain why. The successful professional who fantasizes about running away, not to somewhere, just away. The person who has everything but feels nothing. These aren't broken people. These are people whose souls are screaming. And here's where everything shifts. This crisis, this emptiness, this feeling that something is deeply wrong, it's not the end, it's the beginning. Because what Jung discovered through decades of working with the human psyche changes everything about this pain. He found that life itself has a hinge point, a threshold, where the soul demands its turn. And you're standing right at that threshold now. There's a moment that comes in every human life, though it's not marked on any calendar. A psychic season when everything shifts. The Germans have a beautiful word for it. Die Lebenswende, the turning point of life, the hinge upon which existence pivots. Understanding this concept is central to Carl Jung empath and personal development work. It's not about age, though it often happens somewhere between 35 and 45. It's about completion. The first half of life is spent building your ego, your identity, your place in the world. You establish yourself, prove yourself, secure yourself. This is necessary, natural, even beautiful. But the human psyche wasn't designed to keep building forever. And when the foundation is complete, when you've achieved what you set out to achieve, the soul begins to whisper a different question. Not, what can I accomplish, but who am I really? This is why the crisis comes after success, not before. The turning point isn't triggered by failure, it's triggered by arrival. You got where you were going, and now you're asking, is this all there is? This isn't breakdown. This is breakthrough trying to happen. The soul, suffocated under years of conditioning and performance, finally gets loud enough to be heard. And it's not satisfied with more achievements. It doesn't want a bigger house or a better title. It wants truth. It wants you to stop living as others expect and start living as you are. But most people fight this call. They double down, work harder, buy more, move faster. Anything to avoid the uncomfortable question echoing in the silence. And that's when the psyche escalates. Because the self, your authentic core, will not be ignored forever. First come the whispers. Vague dissatisfaction, a sense that something's off. You ignore them because everything looks fine. Then come the voices. Symptoms you can't explain, anxiety without reason, insomnia, restlessness, dreams that disturb you. Your body keeping score of what your mind refuses to acknowledge. And if you still don't listen, eventually come the screams. Breakdown, illness, crisis, catastrophe. Not as punishment, but as last resort. Your psyche burning down what you built, because that structure has become your prison. Pay attention to your dreams right now. They're not random. They're text messages from your unconscious, written in the language of symbol and story. The chaotic dreams, the disturbing ones, the ones where everything falls apart, they're showing you what needs to die, so something real can be born. Notice the self-sabotage pattern, how you unconsciously undermine your own success, how you create problems where there were none, how you destroy what you've built. This isn't you being destructive. This is you being self-protective. Your soul trying to break free from a life that's killing it. The journey Jung mapped is called individuation. Not individualism, not selfish isolation, but becoming truly individual, whole, integrated. It means the ego stops being the center and the self begins to guide. It means you stop performing and start being. Stop adapting and start expressing. Stop hiding and start revealing. This process is terrifying because it asks one simple question that feels impossible to answer. Who would I be if I stopped performing? If I stopped being the person everyone needs me to be? If I let go of the image I've spent decades perfecting? We resist this journey because the unknown feels more dangerous than the known, even when the known is killing us. We cling to the golden cage because at least we know where the bars are. Freedom is terrifying when you've been imprisoned so long you've forgotten what your own steps sound like. But here's the truth that changes everything. Every cell in your body already knows who you really are. Your job isn't to become someone new. It's to remember, to reclaim, to return. And that return requires shadow work, not positive thinking, not affirmations, but honest seeing. Looking at the parts of yourself you've judged, rejected, hidden away. Because what you've exiled into the shadow isn't just pain and weakness. It's also power and gold. The parts of you that were too much, too wild, too intense, they're not liabilities. They're gifts you haven't unwrapped yet. Notice what you judge harshly in others. That's your shadow speaking. The qualities that trigger you, that disgust you, that you cannot tolerate. Those are the disowned parts of yourself, demanding recognition. You can't heal what you can't feel. You can't integrate what you won't acknowledge. And this brings us to perhaps the most radical truth in all of Jung's work. Collective values, the things society tells you, matter, success, status, wealth, image. These may be toxic to your individual soul. The script you've been following, it wasn't written for you specifically. It was written for everyone generally. And what serves the collective may starve the individual. This is where real courage is required. The courage to disappoint. Your family who's proud of who you became. Your friends who admire your life. Your culture which rewards your conformity. And hardest of all, your old self. The one who fought so hard to build this perfect image. Because the soul doesn't care about success. It only cares about truth. And it will burn down your perfect life to get your attention if that's what it takes. Not to destroy you, but to liberate you. To show you that what you thought was everything was actually nothing if you're not in it. So you've heard the call. You've recognized the emptiness. You understand the architecture of your own imprisonment. Now comes the hardest part. The turn inward. Not escapism, not retreat, but the most courageous work there is. facing yourself. This turn is at the core of Carl Jung empath and personal development because it demands you stop running and start listening. Stop fixing and start feeling. Stop performing and start being present to what actually is. Create space first. Stillness. Silence. Solitude. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities. They're how you hear what your life has been drowning out. This is why you avoid them. Why you fill every moment with noise, with doing, with distraction. Because in the silence, the truth gets loud. Start simple. 1 hour a week of non-productive presence. No phone. No task. No goal. Just you sitting with yourself. And notice what comes up. Notice the discomfort, the restlessness, the voice that says, "This is a waste of time." That voice is the persona, terrified of losing control. Journal not to organize your thoughts, but to discover them. Write without editing. Ask yourself questions you've been avoiding. Who am I when no one's watching? What do I do that I never chose? What did I love before I learned to be afraid? The answers don't live in your head. They live in the parts of you that your head has been drowning out. Now here's something most people miss. Every symptom you're experiencing is information. Your anxiety is asking, what am I not acknowledging? Your depression is asking, what am I not grieving? Your restlessness is asking, what am I not honoring? Your numbness is asking, what am I not feeling? Stop treating symptoms as problems to eliminate. Start treating them as messengers. Your body is not betraying you. It's been trying to save you. Every tension, every ache, every inexplicable pain, it's holding memory, holding emotion, holding truth you haven't been willing to face. Jung developed a practice he called active imagination. It sounds mystical, but it's deeply practical. It's dialoguing with the parts of yourself that you've exiled, not visualization. Encounter. You're not making things up. You're meeting what's actually there. Try this. Personify your emptiness. If it had a voice, what would it say? Sit with a pen and ask it directly. What do you want me to know? Then write what comes without censoring it. This isn't crazy. This is sophisticated psychology. You're giving voice to parts of yourself that have been silenced. Talk to the part of you that wants to quit. The exhausted one. The angry one. The one that feels trapped. Don't argue with these parts. Listen to them. They're not trying to sabotage you. They're trying to save you from a life that's become unsustainable. As you do this work, your relationships will shift. Some people will resist your growth. They benefited from your inauthenticity. They liked you better when you were easy, when you didn't make waves, when you prioritized their comfort over your truth. This is painful, but necessary information. Real love wants your wholeness, even when it's inconvenient. Some relationships will end, not in anger, but in recognition that they were built on a version of you that no longer exists. Grieve this, honor what was, and let go anyway. Other relationships will deepen in ways you didn't think possible. When you show up authentically, you give others permission to do the same. Intimacy becomes real because you become real. Learn to say no, not aggressively, not defensively, but clearly. No, that doesn't work for me. No, I'm not available for that. No, that's not mine to carry. Every no to what's not yours is a yes to what is. Every boundary you set is soul protection. The people who belong in your life will meet you in your truth. The rest were never really there anyway. They were connected to your mask, not your face. And as your mask comes off, they fade. This is natural. This is healthy. This is how you find your actual tribe. Now for the practical rebuilding. You don't have to blow up your life overnight. In fact, you shouldn't. Individuation isn't destruction. It's redirection. Small reclamations. One authentic choice per day. One truth spoken. One feeling acknowledged. one moment of non-performance. This week, say one thing you've been afraid to say. Not to hurt anyone, but to be honest. This month, change one pattern that serves your persona, but starves your soul. This year, make one significant choice based on what's true for you, not what looks good to others. Maybe it's a career shift, not quitting tomorrow, but pivoting gradually toward work that feels meaningful, that uses your real gifts, that serves something beyond ego. Maybe it's creative expression, giving your soul a voice through art, writing, music, movement. Not to be good at it, to be alive in it. Maybe it's service beyond self-interest, contribution that comes from genuine care, not image management. Work that matters to you even if no one's watching. Because the soul finds meaning in genuine connection, in real help, in honest offering. You didn't get lost overnight. You won't be found overnight, but you will be found. One true choice at a time. One honest moment at a time. One reclaimed part at a time. This is the slow build of an authentic life, and it's worth every uncomfortable step. So what does it look like on the other side? What happens when you actually do this work? When you face yourself? When you reclaim what you abandoned? First, your metrics change. Success stops meaning what others think and starts meaning alignment with who you actually are. You develop a new measurement. Not, will this impress people, but does this feel true? Not, what will they think? But what does my soul say? This is the essence of Carl Jung empath and personal development in action. You begin living from the inside out instead of the outside in. And it's harder in some ways because you can't outsource your decisions anymore. You can't just do what's expected. You have to know yourself well enough to know what's true for you. But it's also simpler because you're not managing an image anymore. You're not juggling personas. You're not trying to be different things to different people. You're just you, integrated, whole, consistent. And that takes far less energy than performance ever did. An authentic life doesn't look like what you imagined. It's probably quieter, smaller in some ways. You might have less success by conventional standards, but you'll have something far more valuable. Presence, aliveness, the ability to actually feel your own life instead of watching it pass by from behind glass. You stop needing applause. External validation becomes nice when it comes, but unnecessary, because you've found the only approval that actually matters, your own. The self finally acknowledged, finally honored, finally given space to breathe. Individuation never ends. This isn't a destination, it's a direction. The work deepens. You'll discover new layers of yourself, new shadows to integrate, new truths to face. But now you know how. Now you have the tools. Now you understand that every crisis is an invitation to go deeper. And something beautiful happens. You bring treasure back to the world. Not the manufactured success of before, but genuine gifts. The things only you can offer when you're whole. Your unique perspective, your specific compassion, your particular way of seeing and being and contributing. People who've done this work, they're different. You can sense it. They're grounded, present, real. They don't perform, they don't posture, they just are. And in a world of masks and personas and constant performance, that realness is magnetic. It gives others permission to be real too. Your contribution to the world isn't your achievements, it's your authenticity. Because the world doesn't need another successful person playing a role. It needs you. Fully alive, fully awake, fully here, offering what only you can offer when you stop trying to be what everyone else needs. This moment right now, as you're hearing this, it's a threshold. You reading this isn't random. The call has come. Your soul chose this moment. chose this message, chose to finally get your attention. And now you have a choice. You can go back to the performance. Pretend you didn't hear this. Return to the golden cage. It's always an option. Or you can take one step toward truth. One honest acknowledgement. One brave choice. One small movement toward the person you actually are underneath all the shoulds. Others are on this path. You're not alone in this. All over the world, people are waking up to the same realization. That perfect lives can be prisons. That success can be suffering. That the only real failure is living someone else's dream while your own soul starves. The privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. Not who you should be. Not who you were taught to be. Not who would make everyone comfortable. But who you actually are when all the masks come off. That's the journey. That's the work. That's what your emptiness has been calling you toward all along. So let's return to where we started. That Sunday evening feeling. That hollow emptiness in the midst of achievement. Do you see it differently now? That emptiness isn't void. It's space. Space for who you really are to finally emerge. Space that your soul has been clearing by pushing out everything false. The discomfort you've been feeling, it's not pathology. It's health trying to happen. It's your authentic self, persistent and patient and powerful, refusing to be silenced any longer. Demanding your attention. Demanding your honesty. Demanding your courage. May you have the courage to disappoint the people who need you to stay small. May you have the wisdom to listen when your soul speaks. May you have the strength to build a life that's true, even when it's not perfect, because perfect was always a lie. True is what you've been craving all along. Welcome home. Your journey doesn't end here, it begins here. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below with one thing you're reclaiming from your authentic self. And for deeper work, check out my ebooks, linked in the pinned comment. Beyond the Shadow and Dialogues with the Unconscious, they're practical companions for this path. Thank you for having the courage to be here. Keep going.